So, guys, have you ever imagined you living with a total stranger where both of you are meant to be friends, but for some reason you are not? I mean, can you wrap your head around that? What does that mean to you? Follow us as we talk about strangers living in the same house.
And these strangers are not just strangers.
Strangers.
They are married, actually married.
Right.
But they live in the same house like strangers. But to the outside world, they are married. How do you deal with that? Because I don't know how I can just live with you and not be in good terms with you and then come to the church or maybe go anywhere and still live like, pretend to the world that we're together. I can't just
Wrap your head
I
around
can't do that. I can't do that. I wonder if there's anyone that can, live that life comfortably. And by the way, what's the reason? What do you think causes
You
such
know,
things?
That's what they call like the roommate living. And I think because the bigger, that's what I think, I might be wrong. The bigger part of it is to save face, to show that, oh, they are married,
You are still together.
you are still together. But in your heart, you know that you're no longer together. You say you live in the same house, you come out from the same roof, but everybody live their
You
different
go to
life.
church together, you
I'm
go
telling
to
you,
parties
even
together.
even some of them cook differently. Like everybody does their own thing differently. So I think part of the reason could be because of maybe to share bills together. Maybe maybe
But
some people
is,
cannot.
is it worth it?
Maybe some people
Is
cannot
it
like
worth
say,
it
you know
that
what?
you're not happy and you're just staying with someone because you want to share the bills?
Especially
look for some.
if they have houses, they have this mortgage, and you know that okay, I cannot afford the bill by myself. Maybe that could be a reason.
Yeah, that's a very, how would I don't want to say foolish, but it looks foolish.
Because you're sacrificing
you're
your happiness.
sacrificing your happiness. You're not happy with this person. So what are you trying to cover? You are hurting yourself. It's not fair on either the husband or the wife. I mean, if other people are doing this, maybe two friends living in the house, sharing the bills and not talking to each other, that's okay. But if you are a couple, if you are married and you are living in the same house with your husband or your wife and you are total strangers, don't you think you're hurting yourself?
My sister.
I see that all the time.
I have a friend. My friend and the husband, they lived together for almost 2 years. I was even the one asking her, like, what are you guys really doing? They live together for almost 2 years. They don't talk to each other. They don't cook together. They don't do nothing together. Like they are separate entity entirely. But they were together, So, and then to make it, now let me shock you, to even make matter worse, the church will come to their house for house fellowship. So Sunday evening, their house is the center for house fellowship.
Wow.
Initially, because I was asking my friend, do you join that house fellowship? She said yes. Initially, she was joining, but it got to a stage that she was so upset within her that how is this happening in our house? I said, okay, but is the church aware about this? She said yes. So she stopped joining, even though the house fellowship is in her house. They bring it to her house. But she stopped joining because it was too much for her.
That's too much pretense. Why would you do that to yourself?
It took about 3 years for her to really move out and moved on. Now she's happy. I see her very, very happy. So this is something that, I mean, like, guys, you can leave a comment. Why do you think people really need to live
together, manage happiness,
manage their life?
It's not what
it's becoming on the rise. You see them in church and it looks as if everything is perfect.
They will wear the same clothes. Sometimes they wear the same clothes.
That's an extreme.
They wear the same clothes as couples.
I know people go to the same church and everybody still like do their thing in church, but still wearing the same clothes.
No, they still wear the same clothes.
Wow,
I've seen that.
rough.
They go to parties and they wear the same clothes, and you think
But everybody go back
but
home.
nobody will know except people who know. And like I said before, it's not fair on you as a woman. It's not even fair on you as a man.
Right.
When it has gotten to that point that you feel like you don't need that person anymore, just take a bow, because you are hurting your spirit, you are hurting yourself. And if you have children involved, you are hurting those children too. And those children will think that that's the
Because
normal way of
clearly
living
They
life.
can see. Yep, clearly they can see what's going on.
You know, children see
They
everything.
can see everything going on.
They
So
see everything.
That's even like a fear in the heart of those children already, because they see the way their parents grew up and they think marriage is a scam.
Yeah,
That's
marriage.
That's what is going on everywhere.
They think it's a normal thing, not a scam. They don't even know it's a scam. They think it's a normal thing. That's how life is, you know. I can marry my wife. She offends me. She will be in her room, and I'll be in my room. And it's really not fair. It's not. I don't think I would ever want to do it. You know,
Honestly,
I would never.
I'm not even sure.
I had a very dysfunctional marriage. My first marriage was very bad. You know, very, very bad, and it was both gas every day, every day beating. And I stayed there for a while because I wanted to just cover up because of church. Because this man was a pastor too.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So because of church, I wanted to patch it up and just do it. But after a while, I told myself, what are you doing to yourself?
And when you even mention church, I think it's becoming a lot more common in the church.
Church
It's
is the worst
becoming
place.
a lot more like something that you, and then some people in the church even know, you know,
They
that
know.
is going on.
And you know what? Most of these people having these problems are leaders in the church too. Yes. Some of them handle the men's fellowship.
Valid, very valid.
they-
And some of them would even teach you about marriage.
about marriage.
They teach young people about marriage, and you wonder, what are they
So
teaching?
I don't know
What
why
is the
somebody's
family
living
life?
like that. I don't know why somebody would want to live like that. You know, if you're watching us today
But
and
you
you're
know.
living this type of life, I need you to sit down and think. We're not telling you to leave your marriage. Sit down and think. Let's fix this. You know, try to fix it. And if you can't fix it, there's no need for you to pretend. Because that time you're pretending, it's not like you're going to have an affair. It's not like you're just killing yourself. This life is too short for you to trap yourself in one place and just punish yourself because you don't want people to know what's going on.
But do you know what I'm even thinking? So is it fair to say because they have that situation, they can teach about marriage? Maybe they can teach from a point of their mistake. But anyway, that's people that even identify it and they work towards like, okay, let's move our separate way, and then now you can teach people this is what I mean.
No, some of
the
them
ones that
are
are
there.
pretending,
They're pretending.
the ones, okay, I think the focus is the ones that are pretending
yeah.
that they are still living together. But you
Still-
know in your heart, in your mind that
Nothing is
you
happening.
don't, nothing is going on, you know. I think
it's-
that's where the problem lies.
Yeah.
But you didn't know that many of them still go out and they discuss about family life. They
Yes.
teach about love your husband.
Yes,
they
they
teach
do
about
that.
leadership roles.
Yes, yes.
And that makes
know-
me panic. Like, how can you be a valid leader to
Because-
somebody when you can't
because-
even lead your own home?
Because they're
You know?
used to covering up.
Wow.
They're used to covering up, and to them, it's normal. We can't wash our dirty linen in the
In
public.
the public.
That's one thing they say. And because of that, you're killing yourself. Staying in a relationship that you know is not even going anywhere. I don't care the number of years that you've been there. Some people say, "Oh, I've been there for 30 years. How
will you start again?"
That
How
means
do
you've
you
been
pick
suffering
up
for
the
30
pieces?
years and you're just killing yourself for nothing. You know?
And a very good way to start again is maybe downgrading. For example, you live in luxurious house. You could sell it and just downgrade and
Everybody
just start with
take
your
your share,
happiness.
move.
You know, move. Start with your happiness. Happiness is what counts at the end of the day. Your life is going every day, and you're sad.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean, when are you
losing,
gonna be happy? When?
you're losing a lot by staying in that toxic way or toxic place.
Before
Don't-
you know it, you count years, 5 years, 10 years. What is left in your life?
And
for you to be happy?
what? A lot of people get sick from this.
Of course.
A lot of get sick with diabetes, because I've learned that diabetes doesn't really come because of sugar or because of what you eat. When you are depressed, it can lead you to diabetes. When you're depressed, it can lead you to cancer. You know, your body starts malfunctioning and things start going wrong in your body because you decide to
depression.
cover up what you shouldn't be covering up. You know, marriage is meant to be sweet.
Right.
And once it's no longer sweet, I don't see the reason why you can't take a walk.
And
You know?
even for mental health, all of us we talk about lately raise awareness about mental health for your own sanity.
For your own sanity.
If it's not working, you couldn't fix it. Rather than just
it's not something
get to a stage
to
of
pretend. I see, for us to talk about this topic, we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of
Right,
people
it's too
going through that stress. I've seen a husband and wife who live in the same house. They have their own separate part of the kitchen. Everybody have their things separate.
Definitely.
You know, when the wife is cooking,
Definitely.
the husband don't want to come into the kitchen to cook. He has to wait for the wife to finish cooking,
Definitely.
and then he will come into the kitchen to
I mean,
cook.
it's something
They
I
don't
have
the
seen.
living room. They don't even sit in their living room together. Everybody goes in their bedroom. But on Sunday morning, they'll put on their clothes and go to church together. And that's the height of hypocrisy. And it's not worth it. You're not supposed to live your life for people to see that you're enjoying something that you know inside you that you don't really enjoy.
Right.
So when it gets to that stage, you know, the best thing for anybody is to just take a bow. You know, forget whatever anybody will say. Maybe when you stay apart for a while, you may fix things up and come back. I've seen people who separate and then after
they come back together.
After years,
again.
they come back together. You know,
even separation sometimes can cause like healing. Like everybody reflects, and you can come back. But you know, there is gonna be like an anger if you both keep being in the same place,
same house,
and you're not, functioning properly. So there's gonna be resentment, anger, and you're not allowing yourself to even be able to reflect on what the problem is. So if you want to separate, it could bring you back together. You have moments
because
of
sometimes
grief.
you don't
reflect. You
don't sometimes you don't realize what you have until you lose it. A lot of men have that. They don't realize what they have until their wives leave, and some women too. You don't realize that good husband until you leaves. So sometimes separation works. When you stay apart for a while, you can be able to sit down and reflect. You can start to miss some part of that person,
right?
And that may bring you back than you staying in that place and making it worse day by day. You know. I see it happen every time, and it's really bothers me. You don't need to cover up for anybody. It's your life. It's your life. You don't need to pretend. If it's not working, it's not working. There's nothing you can do about it. You only work on it and see if you can do. If you can't do it, everybody should go on their separate way instead of staying in that pretense, living in that lie. That's a big lie. No.
So anyways, viewers, make sure to leave us a comment. What do you think about this topic? Do you think it's worth it for the woman to just give up herself, her life, to save face for the masses or the public who don't really care? Do you think it's worth all those energy? Let us hear from you right in the comment section.
Thank you so much for watching us today. We're going to come back with more topics. Pardon us if we made any mistakes. This is just the beginning. Until next time, have a great day.
All right now. See you again soon.
Bye.